Welcome back. My name is Sarah and I'm going to show you how to do this fluid art painting. Today we are going to do a bright yellowy orangey kind of a sun colored kind of sunrise sunset inspired flower. We are starting with the white base, pouring that into the center there and using the hairdryer to blow it out. The aim of using the hairdryer here is to cover the canvas with an even layer of that white base. We're also covering the edges, taking some of the paint there that has dripped underneath the canvas, and we're popping that onto the edges of the canvas. So we are starting with orange. We're going to pop that in the middle there. We're just going to keep pouring the colours into the same puddle. Next then I'm coming in with brown. I'm pouring that in on top of the orange then. Following that with gold, which is the metallic that I'm using for this painting. And as kind of usual, we want that metallic on top. I'm running a ring of yellow then around that. And I just wanted a bit of separation between the orange and the yellow. And allowing the white base in between the orange and the yellow gives me that separation. Next, I'm adding on more of the white base around the canvas. And this is so when we blow the puddle out from the center, there's enough paint there that allows the puddle that's being blown out to continue to just flow. It's not met with any resistance. And you can see this happening there as I'm blowing it out with the hairdryer. So I'm blowing it in 5 directions, trying to imitate the petal shape. And yeah, you can see that white base we added on there allowed the colours from the center to flow out more. And next we're going to spin it. And again, for the same reason, I'm going to add more white base around there because I don't think there's enough on there at the moment that when I spin it, it will just be able to flow out. Here I'm taking my finger and I'm bringing it from the white paint into the center of the flower. And this is just going to define the petals more. So when I spin it out, I still have a bit of definition that, oh yeah, okay, they look like petals. Whereas if I didn't do this, it would just look more like a galaxy or a star formation. So we've popped it here onto my spinny thing. And I'm just going to give it a whirl there. This process is actually a slow process. So I'm stopping it there to see what I think, and I'm spinning it in the opposite direction. I want more of the paint to spread out and cover more of the white negative space that's there. Here again, I'm just having a look to see, do I like it, do I not like it? I'm wondering if I've spun it out enough, and I think yes. The petals are nice and broad, they're nice and wide, and then I can tweak the rest. So I've decided, yeah, cool, I don't need to spin it again. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking my palette knife and I'm wiping off the paint that's there into a shape of a petal that I like. And this took me a few different attempts to get the shape that I wanted. I ended up thinking a smoother line would be better, although I did mess around here with maybe a more wavy, a more curvy line versus a more straight out line. So I'm doing a variation of them both. And then I'm popping the white base back in because I've wiped that off here. As you can see, I'm wiping that off. And with that, the white base is also coming off. So I need to add it back in there, level, smoothing it out. Here I'm just still shaping into a more petal effect rather than more of an abstract kind of look. It took me a bit of time here to get into the flow of this I had been out of practice a bit doing this style of painting, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it. And that is just all about the process and the experimentation, and accepting that some things just take a bit of time to get back into the flow of doing it or of learning a new technique. Again, just adding in more of that white base, and I'm smoothing it out so it's level with the orange and the yellow color paint there that you can see. I'm making sure it's even so the paint doesn't end up drying bumpy. Here I'm going to just rejig the shape of this petal again, just to define it more into a balanced shape. And here I'm spinning the painting out again, just to get it to do a little bit more of flowing out now that I've reshaped the petals. And now we get to add some cool details. So I'm using the brown color that I added into the center of the painting there earlier on, and I'm dipping my palette knife into the brown paint, not having a whole lot of paint on the palette knife now, and I am just taking that in certain sections of the petals and I'm placing it down and I'm running it along. Usually it's along the outside of the petals, as you can see, just because I wanted it to add a bit more definition. I think the brown is lovely in the center with the gold, but I just wanted that to be carried out, to have a bit more of that depth of dark color throughout the petals as well, for a bit of balance, and I think it draws the eyes out, not just at the center. So I'm doing that for most of the petals here, as you can see, and I'm wiping the palette knife after each detail that I add, because I just want to go back in with brown each time. Yeah, and with that, this is the final detail that I'm adding here. And ta-da! This is the finished piece. And here's just an up-close shot of the center. And here's just some detailed images of some of the petals there. And this is it dried and varnished and looking rather beautiful. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next Friday. Bye!